All right, YouTube and all of my in-game fans, as you guys can see, 6.0 is now on the truck. The interior is still not completed. I hope to wrap that up here in the next couple weeks, but I just couldn't wait. I had to get it on the truck and see how she looked and how she performed. But before you go any further, there's an opportunity for all of you to, well, not all of you, but at least one of you, to win this pocket knife. Hold on, let me get it in focus here. This is the SOG Fielder, I believe is what they call this. Yeah, there it is. Just a nice little pocket knife. It's essentially in new condition. For those most of you don't know, I've kind of a little bit of a pocket knife collector. I've collected various pocket knives for, oh, I don't know, probably the last 11, 12 years. And anyway, so here is the competition. One important thing when I make these campers is I do my very best to keep them as light as possible, and in particular later put a lot of emphasis and focus on aerodynamics. The idea of which is, I want to, in an ideal world, I'd like to put one of these campers on a truck and it, have zero effect on drivability and gas mileage. Of course, that's not completely practical, so therefore most of my efforts involve just trying to make, basically the idea is, I want the truck to perform as close to stock as possible with the camper on there. So on this particular camper, as we've discussed in other videos, I spent a considerable amount of time in making its shape more aerodynamic. And I am going to post a comparison video between the truck by itself, the truck with 5.0 on it, and the truck with this, just to see if I was successful or not. So how this contest is going to work is this. Hopefully within the next week, I will post the video that does the comparison in gas mileage between the truck, like I said, the truck by itself, the truck with camper 5.0, and the truck now with camper 6.0 on it. In this video, I want you guys to provide comments that give your estimate on the gas mileage between those three different options. So essentially, so it's easier for me to read in the comments, this is how I want it to be done. Please listen carefully. Just simply comment and say truck, colon, and then a number. So for example, 30, that would reference 30 miles per gallon. And then 5.0 colon, and then a number. So let's say 20. So that might represent 20 miles per gallon. And then 6.0 colon, and then what you guys think the gas mileage. Of course, the numbers I just gave are arbitrary. This truck is not going to get 30 miles per gallon with any of these campers on it or even by itself, but you guys get the point. Just keep it simple in the comments for me like that. That will be easier for me to read. And then what I will do, and I have tested the gas mileage between 5.0 and the truck, which is going to be a secret for this video, but I have not had an opportunity to test the gas mileage for 6.0. It's actually quite windy where I'm at, and I want the wind to die down so all conditions are equal. But whoever gets the closest in terms of predicting what the difference in gas mileage between all of these configurations will get the knife. Now there is a high likelihood, since we're dealing with three variables, that a couple of you will all be relatively equal, and in a condition like that I will just write down a couple of your usernames and pick it out at random. Now there are a couple restrictions on this because it's a knife and the expense and shipping and all that. Unfortunate for my viewers in other countries, I will only ship the knife to somebody who lives in the continental United States, and by providing an entry on the comments, you are attesting to me that you are at least 18 years of age or older. Those are the conditions. And for my viewers in Canada and Germany and Thailand and many other countries out there, I apologize that you can't participate. It's just, I'm sure you guys understand, shipping costs coupled with the fact that, I don't know all the various laws in all those various countries, and I don't want to be shipping a knife over and, you know, somehow that violates some law and gets me in there. But okay, so we've talked about the contest. What do you guys think about how 6.0 looks on the truck? Now, I will tell you, I had spoke about this before. I actually think 6.0 is one of my favorites, and I actually really like how it looks on the truck. I will admit, in some angles, it does perhaps look a little odd, but I've actually kind of felt that way about all the campers I put on the truck. I think it's, you know, perhaps because I've spent so much time looking at them off the truck, and then when you put it on the truck, sometimes it's not exactly like what I expected. But largely, I am very happy. So let me know what you guys think of that. Let's take a quick peek on the inside. Like I said, I am not finished, but I have made some more progress. Give me a second here. All right, let's take a look on inside here. All right, so as you guys can see, and I talked about this in the other video, a lot of the interior is now sided with cedar, which is a pretty significant departure from the other campers. And I did go ahead and put one coat of the same kind of finish that I had on the outside. Normally that finish does its best job with 2 or more coats, but since I'm not so much worried about environmental exposure of the interior in here, I might just leave it with the 1 coat. The second coat might make it significantly darker. I haven't made up my mind yet, but you guys can see we got that finished. This space up here, as we talked about before, will be a cabinet. Same thing up in here. I've got all the trim done, so I've got all the paneling on the ceiling and in the cab over, and I got all the trim pieces. I will try to install those the next day or two and get all these lights installed against the roof like they should be. But it's a little dirty in here, so don't mind that, guys. But that is the cab over. It kind of looks like crap in the video, I'll be honest with you. But that's just a little bit of dirt. That's just, it's dusty in here. But that will clean up nicely, especially when I get the trim up there to trim it all out. But the cab over is all insulated. And the next step is we will probably, I've got a couple little odds and ends, and then I will start putting in cabinets. This will obviously be a whole wall cabinet here. The fridge will sit roughly, it'll be straightened out a little bit, but it will roughly be in the position that you see it there. And yeah, to be honest with you guys, there's not a lot much more to speak in. Getting all these insulating panels on the inside is actually quite an arduous task unto itself. And so it takes quite a bit of time, but now that I've gotten all that done, things will start to move a lot faster. I want to give a shout out to a couple of the viewers. Number one, the test, which is the subject of the competition I talked about. Something very similar was proposed by a viewer who sent me an email. I don't recall who that was, so I apologize, but if you're watching this and you remember sending me that email, I appreciate the idea. And then number two, and this is not sponsored, this is some stuff I bought. I've talked about this great stuff adhesive a couple times in a few of the videos, and that's what I primarily use to install all these insulating panels. And I'll tell you guys right now, I'm on the same can, and I've been incredibly impressed with this. Now, another viewer had sent, I can't remember if they sent me an email or left a comment, but they talked about, a lot of people had talked about this having, oh, what do you call it, a jam in the gun, or essentially the gun not dispersing correctly and stuff like that. I did have that problem, but what I found was, as you guys can see here, if the tip will get all gummed up, the best thing to do is just let it gum up on there, and then take a knife, and before you use it, scrape over the tip and really take all that stuff out. And the dispersal gun here will work just fine, and I think that's a workaround. The company says that you can keep the can attached to the you know, the little dispersal gun here as long as the valve is shut off for, I believe they said, up to 30 days. And I'll tell you this, since I've had that, I've kept the same can on there and not cleaned the gun. I just kept it closed. And I did run into a jam, but I pretty quickly figured out that as long as I take a knife and just scrape over the tip and break all this stuff off, this glue works well. So I am super impressed with this glue. It's lasted a long time for this singular can, far longer than if I would have bought just these individual cans. And the adhesive strength is very good. I'm very pleased with it. So if you guys are doing any kind of gluing, that is what it is. So I will I'll leave this video here, and just as a summary, you guys have the option to possibly win this SOG Fielder pocket knife. In the comments for this video, in the very simple format that I outlined, give me your estimates for what the gas mileage would be for the truck by itself, the truck with Camper 5.0, and the truck with Camper 6.0, and I will select who it is that's closer once I actually finalize a test and post that video. And like I said, if I have a couple of you that are all in the same ballpark, I will put your names in a hat, so to speak, and pick randomly. And again, I can only ship the knife to those in the continental United States, and if you post a comment, you are telling me that you are 18 years or older. So thank you guys very much for watching. Please post your estimates on the gas mileage and let me know what you guys think. Thanks.